It's all yours, Ron.
All right, thank you, Bob. Welcome everybody to tonight's webinar. We're happy to gather each Thursday and give you some additional information and things that we hope that will answer your questions and empower you a little bit in your business, your own little business, and sharing it with other people. And so tonight there are a couple topics that we'll focus on. One is this new iHub travel, which is just being introduced, and then Coinzoom, which is the partnered exchange, and it does have an HNT or Helium wallet that we would encourage you maybe to consider using as your default. There's a couple of advantages of doing that. But I would like to go ahead and advance the slide and then read the disclaimer. All information and discussions regarding cryptocurrencies, installment of operations, iHub, support, and educational materials are for educational and entertainment purposes only, are general in nature, and are not intended as investment, legal, or tax advice. Each person's personal investment, risk level, and financial situation is unique and different, and the information provided may not apply or work effectively for you. By signing up for and attending or participating in our informational internet or in-person workshops, seminars, and follow-up meetings, you agree that Bob Adams, Ron Duggar, Tony Elder, and all affiliated companies, representatives, associates, or employees in information providers are hereby held harmless from all liability and loss associated with the information and discussion provided, and as to any action or strategy you may choose to implement with regard to the same. Pretty soon I'll have that down as good as Bob does, but
yeah, I've got to the point where I can fall asleep through that part.
All right, before we move to the next slide, I want to go ahead and bring this. This is my login back office for iHub, and I just want to continue to remind us that this is where the official company news and information and announcements are at. So let's just cover a couple of these real quickly. This HIP 55. So just a reminder, what is a HIP? It's a helium improvement proposal, and so any member of the community can put one of these together and submit it, and then it goes through some review processes and eventually gets voted by the members. Anybody holding HNT or helium is eligible to vote on these when they come up for votes. Well, HIP 55, which is a major improvement, has passed, and so there will be some changes to the network. And the reason why it's the proof of coverage network, and that's how we all get compensated. And the challenge has been each box at this point in time has an SD card in it, and on that SD card or that memory card holds the entire blockchain. And so when you first log your box in and register it to the network, it can take several days before it fully syncs and gets all of the blockchain on it, and then it's officially online, and it starts earning more once it's fully synced versus when you first plug it in. That whole process, or that whole delay, is going to be resolved with this improvement. It's going to help with hotspots going offline or hotspot syncing issues. All this first thing is called this relayed states, where it's not really functioning completely right. It might be grabbing internet from your own location. Instead of your own location, it might be grabbing it from some neighboring place for the internet, and so you get paid less. Your port forwarding and some firewall issues, we're going to get all resolved with this problem. The SD card failures and having to change out SD cards and have failures there, all of that's going to get fixed with this improvement when they put it in. Effectively, what's happening is there are validators now. These are large nodes that hold the full blockchain, and each of the hotspots don't have to do all the heavy lifting. All they get is ping the closest validator hub or node, and communicate to it, and that's a really lightweight process, and so it's going to make these boxes last longer and be more efficient, and the pace won't get interrupted and those type of things. And so that's a bit of good news. That's something in the control of Helium, not iHub. So when it comes into place, we'll just have to watch for it. But that's a good news. So I'm coming back here. Let's take a look at the next one. And this is all about shipping. So it's indicating here that it's great news that the hot spots that would come to the U.S., that they have shipped from China or Hong Kong, and they're being expedited. And that was a couple days ago when this news, or the 7th. And so, they are working hard to get them in and get them provisioned and ready for shipment out to each of us. And so very soon, those that have a reservation number, you will be getting an email or a communication when your batch is ready to come out, and you're going to have a chance at that point in time to confirm email or your address and billing, and that's when you would be paying and deciding finally the lease or the deposit, and transacting prior for that to be sent out or shipped out. And then of course, good news for China and even the EU. There's boxes that they're secured, and so things are really moving in terms of getting our hands on these boxes, and that's really when the money starts. What's that?
China, or did you mean Canada?
No, there's the hotspots coming to the U.S. It's telling us here that they shipped out of Hong Kong.
Out of China. I misheard.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, that's where they're shipping from, the manufacturers over there. And so, yeah, I mean, that's good news, and just to always keep an eye out on the information over here, important announcements. And I'm now going to go back to my slides because we're going to start transitioning. Actually, before I do that, I wanted to go ahead and give an update on my hotspot that I have here at my house, and just to give you an idea of what's happening since I've put the larger antenna up. I'm really excited about it. It's really performing well. I've got it on the 14-day because now I have a 10-day window of time. If you can kind of look here, you can see kind of a lighter gray bar next to the larger blue bar, and these three days here are what my original antenna was doing, and so you can see that my box was earning less than the average. So basically, at that point in time, I was earning 0.088 HNT in a day, and the average by all the other hotspots in the network was earning 0.124 HNT. So I was below average, and that was consistent. And now what happened when I put my antenna in, I'm 0.27 to 0.33 versus that same average of 0.122 HNT for the rest of the network. And so if I take this 10-day window of time and I project it out for a 30-day, I'm now up over between 8 and 8.5 HNT per month on this box now, where I was getting about 2.5 prior for those couple months that I had it running. So I'm quite excited about that, and it's just, these are money makers, and larger antennas, better antennas are great. We've talked about antennas. Many of you, anybody that's got the $99 put down has had an opportunity and probably getting many reminders to get your antenna. I went ahead and got mine coming to me. It hasn't arrived yet. I did the 5.8. I think that is a good safe one, and it would improve obviously the 3 point whatever that comes with them as a standard. So anyway, that's a quick update on my box. So now let me pull this back out of the way, and let's move into a little bit about this travel that they've conceived, and it's getting really close to being introduced fully, but they did a little bit of a pre-announcement the other day. And so I've pulled this from the website. This is actually back in that same news area that you could have kind of jumped into, but I've captured the information. So what they've done is they've partnered with an existing travel platform. As I understand it, it's a rival or competitor to, Travelocity or Expedia or even, Airbnbs and those type of things, where you can search and book both, the hotel or the, even flights and those type of things. So a full-on travel website that comes with this thing. They guarantee it's the best prices on the flights, hotels, and resorts. And so what's going to happen here is we're not we're not going from an IoT company that is building this people's network and changing gears and going into the travel business. But what we are doing is expanding and opening up a marketplace where there will be offerings there that are available as one wants to use them. But as they do that, they're trying to make sure that they all are helping to drive your business of getting more hotspots for the company and for your own little, teams deployed as fast as possible. And so this is what they've done with this. So effectively what's going to happen is you will learn more about this on the live stream, and it's going to be something that they are going to give everybody a voucher. Once you install or register your box, so it's up and running at your location, that's when you've fully earned the $500 voucher. So think about it this way. This is the way I think about it. Is remember we paid $99 and we got a voucher for about $50 value of an upgraded antenna. So that's 50% of your upfront money of $99 is kind of covered with a benefit. Okay, and guys, anytime you join something, there's some cost, and so I think it's a pretty reasonable cost as a one-time to just pay the $99. Get an upgraded antenna with just a little bit of shipping cost. And now, this idea of do you do the lease, the $18 a month, or do you do a $400 upfront cost? I do the numbers and say the $400 is a better deal. And now when I look at this travel voucher, it's effectively, I've got that, I'm fully, this idea when they first came out and we all joined with, you get a free box. This is a roundabout way, but I see the numbers as I've got a free box. I've received back in actual dollar compensation value for my whole outlay, even putting down the deposit. Okay, and we know that deposit eventually can come back to us. And so this is really a good deal. Probably is even better than just a free box because you can now use this as a leverage as you talk with some other people saying, yeah, you're going to have to put out a little money up front to get the box running. The box is what's going to make you some money, and you're getting these values in vouchers back to cover some of those costs. But now what's important about here is just the fact that you're building an organization that has hotspots in their downlines and in their affiliate organization and making the revenue off of those. When and if people start using this travel instead of going to Travelocity, they hop on this website and get a better deal and use up their $500 and book something. There's some commissions from the expense that happens there on their travel that comes up to you as well. So it's good all the way around. In other words, I love when I see win-win, and when I can see win-win-win situations, I'm really happy about that. It's a good, solid business structure to have. So hopefully that kind of covers that. Let's go down. If my slide will continue, okay. And so this is the way you want to promote it. Don't turn into a travel company, by no means, but indicate to them that there's some incentive for you to get that hotspot up and running and on the network. I've done it myself, and there's some steps that you got to go through to get this box lit up and running. They're not terribly difficult, but I can see someone, getting it shipped to them. They get busy and don't get it installed, and that doesn't help anybody. And so the motivation here is get your $500 in voucher by just getting that hotspot up and running and getting it online. And that's how you kind of promote both the idea of covering the cost of the $400, but also, the motivation to get a box and to get it up and running as fast as possible. So this is where you can learn more about it. And I encourage you, this is at no cost, to go ahead and register. You have to go through the steps there on the website. You click the register. It's free. You go in through it. It looks like you're paying for something out of a store and checking out and everything else. But they're going to talk more about this and perhaps other things that are part of the marketplace on March 19th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, they do end up recording them. You can watch it later, but I would recommend you try to register at least and try to make it live if possible. It's intended for the affiliate members in iHub to market and grow their network using this as a tool. It's quite an impressive site. I've not seen it, obviously, but there's over 1 million properties and personal concierge type services that are available through it. Rewards and credits and savings for friends. Apparently, you can go ahead and build up credits and then give those credits to friends to join you in travel or whatever. And it's guaranteed to be the lowest rates on travel. So it's important that we take breaks from our business and travel and get some recreation. And so I think it's a great fit for our business to get into this travel opportunity and then leverage it to grow as many hot spots as possible in our own little individual businesses. Okay. Bob, do you have anything that you wanted to maybe mention on travel that you know of so far about that?
No, I think you pretty much covered it right there. I know there's going to be more information coming out later on. They've got a particular event lined up for doing that. And as we get more information on, we'll let everybody else know about it too.
How does that come across to you with the idea of getting $500 value when you know you're outlaying $400?
It just makes sense. You and I had a lot of conversations. I mean, people aren't privy to what we talk about, but we have a lot of conversations taking a look at and comparing to see what does this one bring to the table, how can it be improved, what other options are out there. We're always looking, and it's just become more and more apparent that this team in particular has got their act together. And one more time, I am not a big advocate of MLMs, but I am really impressed with what these guys have got put together. It has really come together very, very well.
Well, and I am like you. I love the idea of making money off of multiple locations, and the only way to do that is to involve other people that own those those locations that we can put a hotspot in, and that immediately puts you into having to share this opportunity with other people, and that's where you can bump up against the attitude that others have about, I don't want to join something like that. If you can successfully, drive the point that once they have the box up and running, there's a little bit of cost to doing that, and there's really value you're getting back when you add this travel component to it. So it's really kind of a wash. If they can think about it that way, then they're done. They're not going to put any more money into making money from this situation, nor do they really have to go out and recruit other people to do it. It makes some sense for them to kind of share the opportunity with others, but it's not necessary because their own location is going to generate what it is going to generate. And it's really not about sharing this to friends so that they can take money hard-earned money out of their paycheck every month to buy some overpriced, pills or lotions or potions on a monthly basis on an auto ship. That's not what this is. The box generates the money. The money comes from the proof of coverage model of the boxes talking to one another so that they're ready when a paying customer comes across the network spending some data credits. And that's where it all works, yeah.
Just a moment. on the proof of coverage, guys, this is the way the whole blockchain technology system works. You got proof of something, okay? This is the only one, I believe, that has proof of coverage, which is unique in the world, because when you go to do your mining, which I have to admit, I really do like doing the mining part. I think it's intriguing, it's fun for me, all right? It's costly at the moment because right now the coin values are down so far, all right? Whereas this one here, this particular option that we've got here, to be able to get a miner that's so cheap that only going to use $1 a month in electricity compared to those great big miners that are out there, and you're still going to be able to make just as much money off of it as they are. You're going to make just as much. And like Ron just got through saying right there, you're not taking money from anybody else. You're not having friends and family join to absorb their money. What you're doing is you're invited to participate in what truly is the next level of functioning in the cryptocurrency world. So, you know, like I said, I'm not much of an advocate I'm not. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't know, and I think many of us have, because we've been approached so many times. Yeah, but it's important for us who are interested in sharing this with other people, recognize that they're going to have this bias, and you've got to, I think, address it and help them get over that, and recognize that the reason why you need to share it with some other people is because of the location that they happen to own that property. Because you're not going to, there's no point in you sharing it with your next door neighbor if you're going to try to put a box in your location. And so you're literally trying to find people that you may know, even distantly, maybe close, that you could say, listen, I've got a box, and here's what my box is doing, or here's what your box may do if we put one there, and here's the numbers to it. Here's what your upfront would be, but we've got some benefit coming from a travel voucher and an antenna voucher, and if we plug one of these things in there, it starts earning money day one for you in the form of HNT, and then you can explain what HNT is in cryptocurrencies. And there's a lot of interest for people have in cryptocurrency right now, so it's kind of a topic that I think the discussion should go close to. In fact, what I find is important that you drive home is it's completely free to sign up as an affiliate, and you never have to buy a box. You never even have to do some of these things. And you could still get involved with being an affiliate of the program. And sometimes their location, they may be interested in having a box there, but it just doesn't, the company's not going to send one to them. So it really is something that I think people should be able to encourage people to at least get an account. And then over time, as they understand more about this thing, they could feel more comfortable sharing it with people they know or locations that they know about.
I saw an article the other day about people who are in retirement, and people who are now buying cryptocurrencies is outweighing almost any other investment option that's out there. And, in watching the news, what's going on at the moment, you begin to realize the value that it truly has, because it's offering a way to be able to move money that's fast, it's a little more convenient. And we're seeing the SWIFT account now becoming somewhat limited because they pulled it away from Russia. They've taken away their Visa cards. It's a whole different world. But people are really stepping up and doing more and more with the cryptocurrencies. They may not understand it, but they understand that it is the wave of the future, and this is what it's going to look like. And they can either climb on board or they can lose out. It's up to them. It's entirely up to their own choice of what they want to accomplish or what they want to do here. But it is something that's here to stay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm finding that you're getting investment advisors saying, hey, this is another asset class that's something you have to take a portion of your monies and deploy it into this space. So, and this is something you don't really want to go all in, maybe on something that's as volatile and as at the stage it is in development, but it's starting to become a very formidable asset class, and people are and should have some investment in the crypto space. All right, so let's kind of move on to Coinzoom. Coinzoom is an exchange. This is a place where it creates a secondary market. So exchanges help establish the value because you have buyers and sellers that are willing to pay X amount for or sell this price, and somebody's willing to buy at that same price. And so marketplace is important to establish value or a exchange. Coinzoom is a U.S.-based exchange. It's in all 50 states, and it's based here in Salt Lake City, Utah, near where I'm at. And they have a great offering. Obviously, it's a little newer exchange, and so it's not nearly as large as some of the big ones. But it is the exchange that iHub has partnered with as a default. They do have the HNT coin, but you have a lot of other coins that you can and features that you can take advantage of by having your own personal account with Coinzoom. It's not mandatory that you use Coinzoom. There are other exchanges but you will need a wallet, and typically those wallets are going to be on an exchange that for your HNT to be deposited to once it's paid out in commissions. And so there's a place right on the website to link over to it, and I would recommend you do it that way, because when you click on this sign up now through the website, you effectively are enrolling underneath the iHub Global Corporate Membership code, and that establishes the relationship, and the Coinzoom is doing a $25,000 crypto giveaway at some point in the near future. That'll be $1,000 worth of crypto for 25 iHub members. And so this is something you can do right away, and I would encourage you to do it right away. Oh, it looks like they're doing it. They might be doing it as part of the March 19th event, so that's when you'd want to definitely be in before then. So what are some of the things about this? What's the offering at Coinzoom? Obviously, they've got a mobile app for both the iOS and Android phones. It's got the crypto wallets, as we talked about. It's a trading platform. You can move money directly from your bank account with a debit card, or establish the connection between your bank account and move money both in and out of the crypto space into fiat currency at any point in time you want. They have over 50 top coins, cryptocurrencies that you can buy directly, rather than have to buy Bitcoin and then trade it and move it into another coin that you may want to hold. And then you can spend it worldwide, because they do have, and spend any one of your cryptocurrencies. So you have 53 million merchants worldwide that have the ability with the Zoom Visa card to go ahead and just spend the money directly, and it makes the conversion right at the time of purchase, as I understand it. This is a little different than my credit card that I have, or debit card that I have with Crypto.com. That one there, it's a prepaid card, so I have to physically go in and move, basically sell some cryptos, place it onto the card before I spend it. They have kind of an automatic or very simple, right from your wallet, to be able to invest and earn, which what I'm talking about there is staking the coins. So while you're building up HNT and you're not planning on using it or selling it at anytime soon, then you can go ahead and lock it up and earn 5%. And if it's some of the other coins, up to 10% annual rate of just paid interest on that coin that you've staked. And there's like 45 different cryptocurrencies that you can do that with. Spending the money with no fees. So there's what they call Zoom Me. So you can send some of your crypto to another person, another Coinzoom person, without any cost or charge there. And so that's a few things. This is what the trading screen looks like. It's nice. It's clean. I would have gone in live, but I'm having some issues, so I have a little ticket in with customer service, and I wasn't advancing to all the screens. But hopefully you can see where my cursor is. We're on the trade area here, so you've got your order book on this side, your trade history. This is what's the action that's happening, right up to the second. So these things are just flashing all the time. Over on the left-hand side, these are the markets. So you have your different pairs. This trade's very much like Forex, and so you're trading in pairs. So this is BAT versus USD in a pair. And so those that don't know much about trading, some of this is foreign to you, but you can either buy or sell, buy and sell modes, and this is where you actually put the amounts in that you're going to do. And then it'll have an order history right here. And then you got charts, and so you can select any chart you want, and they have some indicators and different things that you can put on the chart to help you analyze the purchases. I have another software that I use, and so I would transact potentially with this platform in some sells and trading back and forth, but I have other options to do that as well. I have already moved $500. I noticed that there's only a limit of $500 a day that I can get into here, at least on a debit card. And so just earlier today, I did today's amount into it. So it'll take me several more days to get the money. I'm designating this one because I'm doing all of my iHub business as a Roth IRA. So this account with Coinzoom is going to be all Roth IRA money. And so I have some money I need to get moved over into here and then utilize it for that fashion. So again, once you have your login, I would just suggest you go to each of these pages. The Earn page is going to show you the different interest rates for the different coins if you wanted to stake them. Your portfolio is going to show you all of your wallets, basically, and all the money. And this inside here is where you're going to see the ability to tie a bank account to it and or bring money over using a debit card. And that's all in your portfolio area. Transactions is just going to be a history of all of your transactions, and it also is a place where you can, it's got a link over to a way for your taxes. It's either that tax thing might be a link on the portfolio, but one of the two. And then all of your orders that would be open orders potentially or closed orders that are happening. And then some settings and so forth. So you spend some time in here, learn it a little bit. They've got down at the bottom, you got your FQs, good. They've got a good back end of information. And I've had, like I said, a couple of tickets, trouble tickets, and they're very responsive in getting back with me and so forth. So I just wanted to kind of give you a picture of that. I wish I would have been able to bring the screen up live, but as I try to advance the different pages, my just starts spinning here and doesn't make the transition. Any more you want to talk about on that, Bob?
Yeah, just as an update, I have my helium because I started out earlier with it in Binance, and I'm obviously going to move it over here to Coinzoom. Setting up Coinzoom really isn't very difficult. It's not hard at all. You just need to follow the protocols that they ask of you, and you're automatically done. Now, I want you to remind everybody one more time, we are seriously looking at our boxes getting here very shortly, and as I understand, the payments that they're going to issue out to us is going to be on the 7th of each month. Yep. So you're going to need to get your account set up so that you're able to receive those funds that are going to be coming to you. So just a reminder, just get her done just as quickly as you possibly can, and upward and onward. That's it.
Yeah, I think there's a minimum. I think it's maybe half a HNT or something like that accumulates at iHub. But if your commission cycle hits and you're above that, then they kick that amount over to the wallet that you've placed inside your back office. And so effectively what you're going to do is you'll find your wallet addresses inside your portfolio area here. You find the HNT one. You'll be copying it and placing that into the iHub commissions area. And so that's where each month your commissions would be dumped into that wallet. Okay?
Okay, just as another real quick follow-up, guys. I realize we're going to run a little bit over right now, but that's okay. Later on, we're going to be doing more webinars to talk about HOLD, or holding and hodling is the difference between them, and also some ideas, some strategies about when to convert your HNT and when to leave it alone and let it ride. Also, we'll be talking about other strategies of being able to use some robotics. All of that's down the road. I mean, that's down the road. For now, all we're focusing on is to get everybody started in iHub because it's so inexpensive to get into, and it's a way for us to make money right now instead of waiting and make it work. That's primarily what we're after. But I got to tell you, there's a lot of things that are being brought to the table that are beyond the scope of just iHub. Start Your Crypto is more than that. Now, I also want to make a real quick notification on something. If you haven't noticed it, I've changed the website substantially. And in order to access all the other parts that are there, you're going to have to register, which is nothing. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything. You just go in there and register, and it'll send you an email, and you're all done. That's it. And then you have access to everything. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is it gives me a database of people to be able to communicate with and just say, here, now look at this, now look at this, now look at this, now look at this. And it keeps you caught up on what's going on. So just those changes are going on there. And I know that Ron and I have talked quite a bit about something. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, one of the other motivations is we recognize that we got a little bit of the cart ahead of the horse a little bit. We wanted to make sure that we remain compliant with the terms of service with iHub. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so we are going to be linking off to iHub type approved sites a little bit more rather than capturing and hosting them or holding them right in the Start Your Crypto area. And like I said, we just want to remain in good terms and good graces with what iHub's doing. I like Bob, I get more and more impressed with how hard these guys are working, and they're trying to be true to what their mission is, and they're really helping us in a lot of ways that many companies wouldn't invest that extra effort and time in. So.
All right, now I know, because I know Ron, he's got something really special that he wants to share with you yet this evening, and I have to agree with him. I think it's pretty dang cool. Has nothing whatsoever to do with our crypto game. Go ahead, Ron, it's all yours.
All right, we're going to transition and then we'll close up. I want to introduce you to micro-lending. And if you weren't aware, I believe it was just yesterday, it was International Women's Day. And I think really there's all month long, there's been a lot of focus on, highlighting women and their causes and so forth. Well, micro-lending is a situation where in many third world countries, people trying to run a business or start a business or keep a business up and running, they don't have access to traditional type of financing and ways to assist them in growing their business. And so micro-lending is really, really teeny small loans typically, and they're much easier to get access to because it's a little bit of a crowdfunding type model, but there is interest, and the loans it's not just giving people money, the loans do get repaid. And as donators, if we sponsor and donate some money to one of these loans and the payments do come back, it comes back to us, not to us, for us again, they're not paying money back to us, but it comes back to our portal here to where we can then just reloan it back out, find someone else that we could loan that to. And I started doing this some time ago, and then I kind of fell out of favor with it. And it's been on my mind recently that it's something that I need to start doing some more, and I wanted to share it with our little group here. And just so if it strikes a chord with you, I would encourage you to maybe do something about it. And so I'm going to just pull that's my last slide, I think. So I'm going to pull the actual site over, and I'm going to, because I did I've got some money in there, I'm going to do a couple loans. All right, so here's our little team. So what I'm encouraging you to do, if you want to start doing this, I'm the member, I'm the only one in here right now, and there's been 0 loans that have done for the team, but we're going to change that right now. So now this is my login account, and I've filtered it. I can get my mouse to start moving again. I lost my mouse, but you can see I've got $73 to lend out, and what I filtered it for is I'm seeing women. I've got it filtered over the left-hand side as women only. And then under the sort, I've got, as you can kind of see, hopefully my mouse comes back here soon, the amount left. So I've sorted by the amount left to do it. So one of the thoughts I have is, you know what? If I'm going to donate $25 or $50 or to a loan, I'm trying to get to those people that are almost fully funded, right? And see if I can't finish funding them. If I can get one of my mouses to work here, I don't know. All right, so okay, my pad's connected at least now. So you can see here, amount left. There's a filter here, so I can go down and see. You can filter it by different deals, and then you can see over here I've got. So these are now filtered with only women, and you can see their country they're from, and the amount that their loan is, and what's left, and you can see that Hitachi is 2 times matching their loan. So this first, I'm just going to try to finish off. We've got $50 left to go with this gal here. She's trying to get a loan of $450 to help to purchase women's clothing for resale to increase her profits and income. And you can read a little bit more about this person, but I'm just going to go ahead and lend some money here. We couldn't complete your purchase. May have fully. Oh, that's maybe funded. Okay, so let's come over and this is somebody in Ecuador. $1,850 buying some clothes again to resell. There's $50 more to go there. Let's see if some of these might have already been funded. I've had it open on my screen. I'm going to refresh my page and see if it might give me some others that are not funded yet. Okay, so here's one in Kenya, loan for $100 to buy fruit and vegetables. So I'm going to lend her some money. So I'm going to check out now. And in the checkout, I can now, she had $50 left to do, right? No, maybe not. Okay. So I'm going to change this to Start Your Crypto. Okay. So now it's, Start Your Crypto's not doing it. You're loaning this money out, but we're going to show a page where all of us collectively our group effort of trying to help little causes out there. And so there's a donation to Kiva that's here. I think you can change that. Credits 28. So I'm going to hit continue. See if this goes through. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to be. It's probably logged me out. Let me log back in. Sorry about this. I had it all prepared up there. I wanted to be ready to go, but I didn't realize it was going to time me out here. Okay, so let's see if I can complete this order. Okay, thank you. So now, if I come back to my teams, let's see what we show here now. Let me go to Start Your Crypto. Still one member. Okay, so this Kenya one here showed up now, but I don't know why it didn't update these numbers, but eventually it would. So basically, if you select after you've done your loan, Start Your Crypto, then it would show this accumulation of what we're all doing together to help people grow their businesses around the world. We're trying to grow our little business to help improve our family, and this is a way. And here's my idea or my thinking here. I'm not at the stage where I can be philanthropic to any large extent. Let me get back to this because I put some dialogue here, description of our team. But think about it this way. If I had $25,000 to give to somebody in a first world country, that would be a sizable donation to their cause or whatever. Well, I don't have that. I'm not really at that stage right now. But if I go to the third world country and give $25, it's probably more welcomed and helpful than the $25K is to somebody in the States that's trying to raise money for a good cause. They're both valuable, or both have value, but I just feel like I can become, as I state here, we loan because it's important to have a giving mindset even before you have a lot of money. Financial success and giving go hand in hand, and one does not go before the other. So if we ever want to really one day have even greater assets and funds to do good around the world, you don't have to wait. You can do micro lending and do it. So about us, we're a group of like-minded crypto professionals that have good hearts and like to quietly show it. We respect the difficulty it is to start and grow a business and want to support others making the effort of doing this for their own communities and improving their families. So that's kind of the mission that we've done here with teaming up with Kiva.org and our team, Start Your Crypto. So that's all I have, Bob.
Okay, well, listen, I'm going to include this link when we send out the link for the presentation this evening. It'll also be available, obviously, on the website. I highly encourage you to consider it. You know, one of the things that I've learned in my old age is that giving and receiving are the same thing. You can't have one without the other. And it opens up the space that allows things to move. If you hang on to something and hang on to something and hang on to something, you strangle it. And pretty soon you don't gain, they don't gain, nobody gains. And I think this thing that just Ron brought to the table, there's nothing in it for us as far as finances are concerned. We're not doing it for that. This is just a great way to be able to help people who are in a position where, you know, maybe they need a little help, a little bit of peace in life right at the moment as the world seems to be coming apart. But great option. Thank you, Ron, for bringing it to the table. Okay. All right, folks, we're going to move into our question and answer stage at this point in time. Just a reminder, when you go ahead and pose your question, you're going to unmute your phone by hitting *6. Present your question either to myself or to Ron. And then when you get to answering it, go ahead and mute yourself again. If we have multiple people coming on board and it's too noisy in the background, I will have to mute you. Like I said, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It's just that we're trying to keep a good recording here. So on that note, who is going to be first?
Bob, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Question, the last meeting we were talking about antennas. Is it possible to use both, the one that comes with it and the 5.8?
Do you want me to answer that?
Yep, it's all yours.
You remember we talked about hexagons and the best that you be, 3 football fields away kind of concept from one another. Effectively, by setting a second antenna on the same box, I'll tell you this, it is possible to hook it up, but you're now then competing with yourself. Now, there is a way, but it would be needing to get the right kinds of antennas and the proper setup, and I don't know that it's worth it. Effectively, what you need to do is get a directional antenna. These would be more expensive. And you have to run the same length of the coax cable. And so, preferably what you're doing is installing these antennas maybe on the roof, and then your box is down below. So I have a 50-foot coax cable to go to the antenna on my roof. And what you'd have to do is do a directional antenna, so it's only headed, north or south or whatever, one direction. And then you'd have to buy the same antenna and have a directional antenna, and it would point the opposite direction. So now neither antenna is going to compete with trying to be the witness of another hotspot out there as part of the proof of coverage. And then the box could receive those as independent, feeds. So it is technically possible. It's not real feasible to even consider doing it. That's why you want to get an antenna that actually has more of a circumference reach. The ones that come with them are the most 360-degree circumference type range, but they don't reach as far. They don't, have broadcast and receive as far out. The 5.8 is still somewhat, circular, but it's a little bit more of a cone shape. And then the 8 dBi that's possible to get is more directional in 2 directions. And it's cone-shaped. And there's a video that you can watch from them on the training that you probably have, and you kind of see how those cones work. And, the ones that are more circumference will jump over things a little bit more versus the one that's directional. You need to have good line of sight. So that's the answer. It's possible, but above most people's and the cost, like I said, the directional antennas are quite a bit more expensive, and you got to buy 2 of them. So you really can't use the ones that are going to come with you and the 2 that you would get from them, because they would compete with one another.
Thank you.
Just a quick reminder also, folks, if you are going to put an extended antenna up, you're going to want to use the heavier cabling, because you have the least amount of resistance for that. That'll also increase your yield coming off your box.
Yep. It's the LMR 400. It's a very thick coax cable, rigid, but you don't want to have cable loss if you have a long cable run. Well, you're going to get some cable loss anyway, but you want to minimize that with giving it a good shielded cable.
All right. Who's next?
Hello, Ron. This is Irwin.
Yes.
I heard you mention about you putting your crypto in the Roth IRA.
Yes.
What is the process? I likewise would like to move mine. Is it any particular company that you're using, or should I just call mine and just ask them, do they?
No, there's going to be some special things you got to do, and Bob would be the best person to kind of get an appointment with on the phone and go over it. When I was first attempting to do this, or talking about doing it, Bob advised me a little bit. We sourced what I have used. There's a couple angles that Bob could send you down. A couple choices you'd have that Bob could point out to you. But I used a company out of Texas, and it was fairly seamless. But you do need to, when you set this up, this is going to be a self-directed checkbook Roth IRA, okay? And so what you need to have is full capability of making all the financial decisions just by writing a check, effectively, or using a debit card or whatever. And so you do need to have a custodial. So the company that I used, it was all seamless. So essentially I went through the process and had some upfront cost, and then there's a monthly cost of $30. I did the professional. I think that you can get it down to 15 or something like that. But anyway, it comes with the custodial bank, which is out of Colorado. So it sets up the LLC. This is one full step. Sets up the LLC, and then second to that, you set up your bank account with a custodial bank, and they control that in the way I went. There's other ways you could do it where you could pick your own bank, but they're hard to find and they're expensive, many of them that are custodials. So essentially, this is a seamless thing. It's an online, everything was done online. And then once you do that, to mine cryptocurrency, you cannot do it with an LLC directly. And so I had to set up a C corporation so that I could pay taxes with the revenue that comes into the HNT when I convert it. Well, actually, even before converting it, you're going to have to convert some of it to pay taxes along the way. But it comes into a C corporation, and I have held a board meeting, and I've issued all the shares of the C corporation. So there's a sole owner of the C corporation, and it happens to be the LLC that is owned in the Roth. So that's the structure, okay, that you have to go through all those steps to do that.
Okay.
And then you would use the tax ID number of the C corporation to give that to iHub for commission payments.
Yeah. Okay. So it is a little bit convoluted. Okay. Yeah. Is the benefit worth it? I believe it probably is. But I think Ron just gave a really great presentation, by the way. Okay. The only thing that you need to be aware of is that if you're going to attempt to put this into your Roth, those steps that he just got through declaring would have to be done, and you also have to be aware of something that's called UBIT, which is the Unrelated Business Income Tax. Now, it is based on a lower tax rate than if you were to put it through your self-employment tax, because mining, which is what we're doing, is an unrelated product to our retirement accounts, and therefore its activities have to be taxed. There's no way around that part. But, that taxation can be very, very low using a C corporation, which is what Ron has successfully done here in setting his up. Now, the rest of those currencies that are there are going to be allowed to be, you can exchange them to use to pay the taxes, you can exchange them to populate your USD bank account, whatever you want to do with that. But whatever's left in there is going to be left to be in, to ride out the ride. And if you let it go for at least a year, then you're going to be subject to long-term capital gains. And you need to remember, under $80,000 of earnings is not taxable. Okay, that's one of the advantages to having it be a capital asset versus our ordinary income, which is what we've got with our IQD investment. So yeah, that's a long story, and I promise you that I'm going to be covering that in another webinar later on for our people here with Start Your Crypto. It's not something we want to cover particularly tonight because we're just getting started into this game. Okay, but anyway, that's a really good question, and
that's a good question
that we want everybody to seriously consider it. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, my whole objective with this is a retirement flow. This is passive income, if you want to call it that, even though it doesn't really qualify passive income, but effectively I wanted to have a continuous stream of income in retirement, and I want to have already paid my taxes at the time that it was mined, and then I want it to be inside my Roth IRA so that I can trade it and do whatever I want to do inside that umbrella. And all of that money then is now, all the gain and what's after paying taxes at the C corporation level, all of it is now protected. And that's why I've named my companies, my LLC is Ron Freedom LLC, because I intend to be free from everybody and anybody. Okay. Anyway, that's my whole goal. That's my strategy. That's my game plan.
Okay, great. Okay. I definitely will agree with you that I want to be free. Okay, but I want to tell you guys thanks for the information, and I'll be waiting on the seminars, and then I'll get with Bob at that point. Okay, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's something. This is the part that I like about Max Plans. It works for both. It works for the IQD and it works for this. So, yeah, there's lots of options that we can do. Once again, if you want to make an appointment with me, make an appointment. I got some free time right now. And we'll have a conversation, and I would love to have that conversation about it. But I am going to be teaching a webinar just to our crypto group later on down the road. We got a couple minutes left. Any other questions before we call it a night?
Yeah, I had a couple easier questions. On the travel program, is it going to be like a membership fee, or is it free, or is it just part of our program?
I wish I could answer that one. That's why we got to listen to it. I am hoping, this is my hope, is that we just have a member number, and we're not signing up where there's any physical dollars that we have to spend on a monthly basis. It just gives us discounts when we decide to go travel, and obviously when we spend or we book something, that's when commissionable money is generated and so forth. So that's my hope, because I would have to think hard, and I think many of us would, if it's even if it's $10 a month. I don't know, I'm not into signing up to reoccurring expense type things. So.
Yeah, because most of those programs you see like that are a membership fee or a big upfront cost. But
and I think, Mike, that's what these guys will probably approach it differently, because that's not the business we're in.
Good.
We're in the IoT business. We just I think they're leveraging and bringing to the forefront a tool that would help us grow that side of the business. But yet we're all people that may want to travel sometime, and so that's just another potential revenue source. And so I think I'll approach it differently than if we were trying to be in the travel business, in a multi-level marketed travel business.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and the other question I had was, I was watching one of the training videos, and they had mentioned that they were working with companies across the country to do installs for the antennas and for other sensors. Do you know if they've ever done anything like that?
I have not. There are IT companies out there that provide services like that, and I'm sure they've hooked up, likely to just one that's already existing and made arrangements with it. But I have not heard since a lot of that. Some of that was almost a month ago when I first kind of heard it, but it was always talked in the idea that here we're working on this so that people would be able to have support. But a lot of things they are been working to try to get ready so that they can be deployed when they were needed, and that's when boxes start arriving. And so we may hear about that just as part of the release of boxes. They'll probably have here's a place you can contact if you wanted to have support. They are going to do obviously some phone support for people who just need to and text and video. I mean, they'll try to just give us all the tools that we can light our boxes up on our own with just a couple buttons inside our back office and just following some steps. If you're wanting to do an outdoor antenna, that's when I think you would call upon, one of these companies.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate the information. Thank you, guys.
Right.
All righty. We are kind of at the end of our time now, but I'm open to any other questions. Anybody else?
Excuse me, Bob. Real quick, is there any time for the Roth setup with the iHub? Do we need to do that before we are up and mining, or can it be done after the fact?
I would recommend that we do it before.
And I think why he's going to say that is you don't want to have anything disallowed, in the form of an audit. And what you can't do is you can't buy. So if you're mining and you are buying the equipment, you've got to do it before, because you can't move that into the Roth. The Roth has to buy that equipment. Okay, you personally can't buy it, because now you're doing a contribution into the Roth, and that may be disallowable. But this is a little different because we don't own these boxes. We're either leasing them or renting them. But it's kind of a gray line there, whether do you get disallowed because and it screws up your whole structure because now you can't do that business inside the Roth if the IRS disallowed it.
Right. I've already got my antenna. It's already arrived. So would that be a disallowed issue?
I mean, obviously, all of these things is only if an audit occurs, right? but I think, Bob, what I'm truly saying is, kind of supporting your idea, get these structures put together as fast as you can, so that you don't muddy the water in terms of getting an audit.
Thank you.
All righty, guys. I am looking forward to doing this presentation. Maybe we'll even do that here shortly, just so that everybody gets a better opportunity to understand how they can put it into it. Okay, we can do that. We can do anything. All right, folks, one more time, thank you very much for spending the time with it. Kelly, did you have a question?
Just real quick, Bob, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
The helium tracker with the map and all the various dots, is that just iHub, or is that people that buy their own miners and whatnot?
Go ahead, Ron.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So Helium Track was originally being built by a separate company, and then they were acquired by iHub. And so that is all of the planned hotspots that are in there, and I can't remember what color they are, like the orange ones or whatever. Those are planned ones, and that's only iHub planned. So that would be people inside iHub planning hotspots, okay? The green ones that are active, that is anybody and everybody. That's just an active box that's in this already on registered with the Helium network. Does that make sense?
Yes, it did. So basically, if they're green, it could be through iHub or not. Basically, is that what it means?
It's pulling the information from the open source APIs from explore.helium.com. So that's the kind of the primary source of all of the hotspots, and then there's APIs, which is just a language that can all of these third-party companies can write their own utilities and display the raw data any way they would like. And so there are a number of other tools, what we call community tools out there to help you analyze, where hotspots are and different things to look at from the raw data standpoint. And so Helium Track is just one that was originally kind of open to the community. That's where they were building it. When they were acquired by iHub, now it became a tool for growing an iHub business. And so they've added features that are conducive with not only the Helium Track part, which is planning your hotspots, but also the marketing pieces, like doing the emailing the assessments out and all that. That's a feature that is kind of designed to help build a business inside iHub's structure. And then obviously all the rest of the back office, where the commissions are and all of the deployment, that was all built after the fact, after the acquisition, to help us build our businesses.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So the answer to your question is the information that you see on the Helium Track map is, some of it's iHub only, and the rest of it is the whole universe. And if it's a lit up box, then it could be, somebody that's not part of iHub.
But from this point forward, it will pretty much just be iHub.
Well, I believe iHub is going to be very dominant, yes.
That's the big boy on the block, no doubt about that.
Definitely.
Okie doke. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right, folks, let's go ahead and call it an evening. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much. And I always appreciate your questions, Bob. That's helpful.
Yeah,
because I want to make sure that we're answering,
they are good.
We put together things ourselves, anticipating what they would want to know, but it's really helpful to make sure we leave enough time to have them.
Okay, now we are going to have another meeting next Wednesday, or next Thursday on the 17th, but on the 24th, I'm going to be doing the part 2 of the CRUT program. So you're going to see the final parts of the CRUT and how that works. All right, guys, let's call it a night. Thank you very much for being here. Ron, as usual, one heck of a great job, bro. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.